everybody, this is Brian from Big B Prepping. Today we are going to be canning store-bought chicken with prices going up and possibly some stores limiting, that's the word, how many we can buy. I figured I better make some space in my freezer. So I took it out, let it thaw for a couple days, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to can it, pressure can it, raw. And I've got about 21 pounds here. I have my jars inside of my dishwasher right now, and they are getting really hot and sanitized and clean, along with the rings to put on too. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chicken out of the packages and we're going to cube it up. Not too small, but not too big. You want to make sure that everything fits in your jars, and we'll start the process. Come along with me. All right, so now we are finishing cutting up our chicken. What I try to do anyway is get some of the fat off. You don't want all this fat in your chicken when you're canning it and cooking it and everything later on. But when you cut it, you can kind of see them. I'm finishing up. I just cut up most of it, but try to cut up as much as you can of this fat off of it. Leave a little bit. But I'm just basically just kind of cutting it in half, cutting the breast in half, and then leaning it over the bowl and just cutting it in cubes. And you don't want it massively big, but you don't want it too small either. It's pretty simple. And my jars, I believe, I got about 1 minute left, so timing this fairly well. Then once we get all the meat cut, we're going to go ahead and get our jars out, get our lids out, get our rings out, get our pressure cooker ready. And remember, every pressure cooker is different. Make sure you read your manual of how much water you need to put in the bottom of your pressure cooker or canner. Some are more than others, some are less than others. And then check your elevation to make sure you're using the right pressure. I'm just starting out, so I'm learning as I go, watching some videos, but I figure with the way times are, better start learning quick. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to, if I can't answer them, I'll lead you in some directions of videos that I've watched. There's several great videos online that you can watch. Great homesteaders. I will tell you something else. As we're getting into spring, farmers markets are opening up. The way the meat cost is right now, and I know the farmers market's meats are always more expensive than the grocery store, but the quality of the meat is zillions times better than what you get in the store. But it is more expensive. And I know some people, they just can't afford that, and that's fine. But I went this last weekend to our last winter one, and I got some pork chops, and holy cow. Those pork chops were gigantic. We're actually going to eat them for dinner tonight. But, if you could budget out maybe buying a little bit of meat from the farmer's market, not only are you supporting local, but you're supporting the farmers. And I know they're going through a tough time right now. So, wouldn't hurt to support local and support your local farmer. But I am actually cutting up the last breast right now. And once I am done, I'm going to get everything out and start the next process of this wonderful canning of raw chicken. Okay, so now I've got my jars out of the washer, and they are sterilized, they're clean, they're still hot. I also put on the stove, I've got a teapot full of water, and you're going to be putting a little bit of water in each jar as you go and fill the chicken. Got another little pot here that I'm going to put my lids in so they get hot. Some people say you don't have to do it. I was taught to actually do it this way. I know it's old-fashioned, but that's all right. And then this is my pressure canner. So just before you use it every time, double check it. Make sure everything's still good. Your seal's in good. Your vent is still good, like you can see through it. I can see through it. There's nothing clogging it. And then make sure you have your rack in the bottom. That way you keep your jars from breaking on the bottom. So as you get started, every canner is different. So make sure you read your manual of how much water you have to put inside of it before you start. There's tons of canners out there, and every one of them is different. So this one is a Presto. I actually have to put 3 quarts of water in the bottom of it. And that way there's plenty of water so the steam builds up and everything. So we're going to go ahead and get everything prepped and ready to go. And I'm going to put my water in here in 1 second. Okay, so now that we have our chicken inside of our cans, you want to take your boiling water. And remember, chicken has juice in it itself, so you don't want to overfill these bottles. So just pour a little bit in there. Just along it. And this is hot water, so. And then once you get the water in, we're going to get some bubbles out. Make sure there's no room for air to get in there. And if you pour too much water in, just dump it out. And you're going to notice as you go, the water is going to settle. And you might be able to put some more chicken in too. So I have 15 cans, I have 15 lids. We're going to stick them in our hot water. Just let them get warmed up, get all the germs off. And now, if you want, you can go ahead and add a couple more pieces of chicken. I have some cans that are a little low. Grab a small piece here, stick it in. This device right here, I call it the bubble popper. So you just want to stick it in, and you can see the bubbles kind of coming to the top. Move things around. And that one had a lot of bubbles in it. And you'll notice things settling down too. And you might have to take some chicken out. You never know. Okay, so what you want to do before you put your cans in the canner, take some hot water or some white vinegar, whatever, and just clean around the rim there. Make sure you get all the chicken grease off or any kind of little things that might have been left behind. Get one of your lids, place it on, take one of your rings, and just hand tighten it, and then stick it in your canner. Just do this process over and over again. water's in there. It's warming up. I do have a little bit of chicken left. I don't have any more room, so I'm going to grill that up later this afternoon. So, water's in. Lid goes on. Goes tight. Turn your heat up a little bit. And you want to see consistent steam come out of the top of this. And once you see it doing that, give it 10 minutes. And then once your 10 minutes of consistent steam comes out, then you want to put your jiggler on and bring it to the right pressure. So we've got a little bit of time. This is a process. This is not automatic. So as this is getting ready to go, clean up. Get things ready for the next. Okay, do you hear that? That is, I don't know if you can see it, but that is the steam coming out, venting. That's what you want. You want that when you're trying to get everything to come up to a boil, and you let it vent for about 10 minutes. I've got about 20 seconds left before I can put my jiggler on. This is my jiggler for the Presto. So once you put it on, that's when you need to regulate your pressure. And this is a pretty crucial part, so you want to make sure you do it right. You're going to have to, here comes our little timer. You can see it's back at 0, it's beeping. So I'll turn that off. Put your jiggler on, and you'll see the pressure go up slowly. It'll start to go up. And that's where you want to kind of regulate things. And once you get to the pressure at your elevation, again, look at your elevation where you're at. I'm in Virginia, and we're at about 800 feet of elevation. So we're roughly about 11 pounds of pressure, which is right in the middle here, right after the 10, and of course is 11. It's going to fluctuate, so make sure you actually get it to where it needs to be. Once you get it there, it's 75 minutes. Set your timer for 75 minutes, and you should be good to go. But once we get back up to pressure, I'll bring you back. Okay, so as you can see, we've reached 11 pounds of pressure. And what you want to do is make sure you stay there consistently for a little bit before you start your timer, because that way you know you're set right. Once you're set, then start your timer, 75 minutes. Once it's done, you're going to turn off your oven and let it release itself. You don't want to take the jiggler off, nothing like that. Just leave it alone, and it'll take a little bit of time, but that's all right. So 75 minutes, we're going to come back, and hopefully this is done right. It's okay to screw up. It's not bad. That's what we're doing. We're learning. So get it set and go do something else. All right, so I got about a minute left, and you can see the jiggle jiggling like it's supposed to. Once that minute is up, I'm going to turn off the heat and just let it cool down by itself. And then we will come back, and once it's cooled down completely by itself, we'll take the jars out and see how they look. Okay, so we're just letting the temperature go down by itself. It's almost back to 0. Once it gets to 0, we're going to take the jiggler off, and we're going to open up the top. When you open the top, make sure you open it away from you, because there is still going to be some steam. You don't want that to come into your face. Trust me, learn the hard way. Anyway, we got a couple more minutes. It's taken so far to come back down this far, probably a good 25, 30 minutes just to come down. Just let it come down by itself. And once it's down, we'll get going and take the jiggler off. Okay, so we took the lid off, and we are going to leave them in there just to cool. You see the bubbles coming up, so they're still cooking while they're sitting there. We're just going to let them cook, cool, and we'll be back in about 30 minutes or so, and we will take them out and let them sit overnight. Okay, so it's been 24 hours, We took them out of the canner, put them on our counter, just underneath like a, put a towel or something on your counter. That way it kind of keeps everything nice and neat. And they've all kind of cooled down, of course. And, you can see your lids are nice and secure. None of them are puckered. If they are puckered, that means they did not take right, and do not store them. Maybe just put it in your refrigerator and use them right away in the next couple days. But other than that, once you're done, put on the top here. Obviously, this is chicken, so put chicken, and then the year that it was made. Take the ring off. You do not want to store with the ring on. And then enjoy. It was good talking. Have a great day. We'll see what we do next.